Hello, fellow music geek. I would today like to teach you how to play the song Mary Jane's Last Dance by Tom Petty. I'm deliberately using the cheapest guitar that I have so that it won't intimidate anyone. So here we are with my $100 Mitchell guitar. We're going to play an A minor chord, which is starting with your fuck you finger. Put that right here on the D string, which is string number 4. Put your pinky, or I'm sorry, your ring finger here on string number 3. Both of these are on fret 2, so that should be really easy to find here. We're just one up, and then your index finger just goes right here on string number 2, the B string, on the 1st fret. Not here on the 1st string, 2nd string, 1st fret. I do encourage you to get diagrams that show where your fingers go for these chords so that you can reflect on them as you're trying to find your own position. But the idea is you want to be able to play this without having to think about it, without having to look at the diagram. So the A major chord is the perhaps first thing that you'll hear people teach you, which is just all 3 fingers all in a row here. The A minor chord has this variation on the B string where it's flat. The 3rd of the chord is flat to make it minor. Next one is a standard G major. It's usually played with, again, fuck you finger going up here up top, and then next one in line is going to be your ring finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret. And then people disagree on whether it's easier to use your pinky or to use your ring. For this, personally, I like to use my ring finger, and make sure you keep those fingers arched because you need to hear the strings in between. In fact, for this song, it's more important that you hear the strings in between than the strings you're playing, because those will complete the sound. But if you do that, then it's just going to sound like. So you've got to make sure you've got that center of the center channel. These middle strings are not getting touched by your fingers at all. And then the last chord is D major. Now, like I said, D suspended 2nd is the actual song that you'll hear recorded, but it is not much different from a full D major to a D suspended 2nd. So I want new students to try learning this with the D major, because it's very, very trivial to just decide if you want to play a D suspended 2nd once your hand already knows how to play a normal D. So first step, you have to teach your hand to be able to play in A minor, which is a very common chord in rock and roll and in blues and even in neoclassical. You're going to run into the A minor variation of the A chord all the time, so you might as well start learning it now. And that is going to be that first one we showed you. You have to transition from your A to your G, so that takes a bit of muscle memory to go from here to here. And then from the G, you've got to come around to a D. Again, fairly different shape. So this is a good song to learn with because it's going to teach your hand to jump from finger patterns that aren't very similar and do it with rhythm. We're treating this as our training wheels here. So I'm kind of just improvising the rhythm there because obviously that's not what he really plays. My goal at this stage isn't to be able to play how Tom Petty's playing it or whoever his guitarist was for that song. My goal is to play it in a way that I feel comfortable with the transition from one chord to the next chord, being able to transition from the A minor to the G to the D. That's a goal in itself. The chorus is a little weirder because you're playing this chord called an E minor 7th, which is just one finger right here on string 5, fret 2. Dance with Mary Jane. So just take one bite at a time. Try to play the verses of the song and try to be able to do the transitions between those 3 chords. Don't shoot for anything more lofty for now. If you start feeling like you're getting the hang of it, then you can try doing it with the actual rhythm and the hammer-on technique, which is where you play the strings and then you put your fingers on them. But don't try to sound exactly like him right off the bat. Get the chords down, get the timing down, take a breath, and then eventually it will just come to you. And learning how to play it based on how it feels and how your ear hears it and your ear-to-hand coordination is probably going to do a better job of getting you familiar with how to play in general and how to play that song in particular than staring at the tablature and trying to read all of those 2s and 3s and 0s and figure out how those translate to your hand. Teach your hand, not your eyes. And please, if you have any questions, go ahead and send me a direct message. I'll be glad to look at any videos you have of yourself or just talk online if you have the time. Good luck.